We first heard about the well-preserved ghost town of Cerro Gordo a couple years ago when a guy named Brent bought it and moved in. We follow along on YouTube as he chronicles his experience restoring the town and have been wanting to stop in and visit this town for a while. So I gathered a couple of my friends and we headed into the mountains to find it. That is the marker for Cerro Gordo. Talks about the town a little bit, when it was found in 1865, what was taken out of here, lead, zinc, silver. And out here you can see this is Owen's Lake. Owen's River comes all the way down from very far north of here, continues south. This was a big lake. It's mostly drained because of LA water usage over the last 100 years. Crazy thing, if you look out here, there's snow up in those hills. So the question is, when we get up to Cerro, is there gonna be snow there? And if so, do we camp there or do we come south? I have this new heater. Very interested to see how it works. It would suck to wake up all frozen in the middle of the night because the heater didn't work. So this is stuff, that's what we're gonna figure out in the next few hours here. But it is beautiful down here. Oh, it feels great. I've got this hoodie on, but I really don't even need it. We're going up the hill to Cerro Gordo. It is dusty. These rocks are like really cool. Brody's reading a book back there. We were supposed to meet up with friends here, and they all ended up not being able to make it. So we were rolling up on this guy, no introduction, just gonna say, hey, what's going on? We heard about your town. And hopefully they're here and cool and don't mind us dropping in like this. I have a feeling they'll be totally fine, so.
Ooh, what's that?
Way up in these hills, they would set up tramways, which are basically cable, pulley systems from the mountain all the way down and drop it off at one of those things, and then that was loaded up onto a wagon.
And the wagon would then be pulled down the hill by mules, and the ore was loaded onto a steamboat, which would then take it across the lake for processing. Continuing on our drive up to Cerro Gordo, passing all kinds of mining structures. There's just so many of those. And it's really cool getting up here. You can see this town. I've watched Brent's videos, and since years ago when he first got this place, just been like, wow, what a crazy thing to just move out here and start rehabbing the buildings. Felt the pain when the American Hotel burnt down, so it's kind of fun to finally get up here. I didn't realize it's actually not that hard to get to. I was thinking it was a lot more remote, but this isn't too bad. So far the road is okay. I'll let you know how it gets. Greg making his way up the hill. We're about at the level of that snow. Not quite. We're gonna be finding snow here soon. Oh, I didn't even see that mine right there. Wait. See this mine down here? I didn't even see it. Curious to see if there's gonna be people up here or not. The drive is beautiful. Man, look at all these rocks. It's pretty neat. I should throw the drone. All right, on it. Oh, this is an intact town. So we've made it to Cerro Gordo, and so far there's nothing but a sign that says check in at the flag. So we're gonna go see if there's anybody home.
Then I had to put up both of my hoodies.
You did? It's cold. This drive was easier than I expected, by the way. Our first stop was the old general store, now converted into a museum of sorts with all kinds of artifacts from around the town. Can you imagine this being an actual store back in the day?
There it is, yeah.
Look at that.
What is that?
That's a fossilized shell. Look at this thing. That would power the bellows for their blacksmith shop.
It's amazing all this stuff's been here for, well, not thousands, but
100.
close to a century.
After getting permission, we headed up the hill behind the general store to check out the mineral assayer's office. This building here was called the assay office, and it's where they would test out your ore to see if it had gold or silver or zinc. I like how it's positioned right next to the tramway in the back. Here's some testing equipment. What? The miner's first aid cabinet? This is such a cool ghost town. Hold on, what do you think this thing was?
No.
I think they use it to crush things. This one, look. You roll it, you turn it like this, and as you turn it, this thing crushes. Wow. And then they would take the powder, cook it on the stove, test it with all the chemicals.
Painting inside the bed.
Painting and a bed. Lola's crib. Oh yeah, that was her name, Lola. The Palace of Pleasure. Curiously located next door is the town's main brothel that was run by Lola Travis. You can read her life story in the book Red Light Women of Death Valley, but the part that sticks out to me is how she started with nothing and built her way up to owning saloons and was eventually a real estate investor and mine investor too. We climbed up the mine tailings to get a panoramic view of the town from the tramway and then headed over to check out a couple intact cabins on the hillside. Look at his little stove.
What's going here?
Look at all, what do you think these tools are for? What is this stuff, you guys? Leather.
it's leather.
Those are leather making tools. So you use
All
that to
that-
cut and shape and change
But
leather.
that's a lot of power
To make a
sit on
saddle.
The animals or something.
This, I believe, is a clamp. And what happens is when you turn this comes away from the table. You can drop your leather down into it, clamp it, and it holds it there so that when you cut it, you push on it really hard and it doesn't move. Cabin number 2.
We open
We made our last stop the old machine shop that has been converted into a church and theater. It was here that we had a chance to talk for a while with Brent, who's really an interesting and down-to-earth guy doing something unique and positive in this world by bringing life back into an old ghost town so people can enjoy and learn something while they're here. We had such a great time wandering around the old town of Cerro Gordo and felt like we really connected with this area's mining history in a new way. But the shadows were getting long and we still had a lot of trail to cover, so we headed deeper into the mountains, not knowing our trip was about to take a turn and we'd be finding ourselves doing trail repairs in the dark. But that, as they say, is another story.